Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video should be a pretty quick one. I'm just going to do a quick little breakdown of my current portfolio, show you some of the big changes that have happened in the last month, and go over some of the options I've already closed out for the month of April and some of the ones I still have open. Now, my entire goal with this account is to build up enough monthly premium to do this full time. I really don't think I'd feel entirely comfortable leaving my current job until this amount doubles or even triples what it's currently at, so it's definitely a work in progress. But before we go ahead and dive into the options in my account, let's go ahead and take a look at my current account overview. You can see that my total account value is $204,668.81 as of the close Friday. Now, the majority of this is actually in my individual taxable account, which is actually where I do all of the short options trading. And that account is currently valued at $140,789.82. The remainder of that is invested in my Roth IRA, which has about $33,000 in it. And if you guys saw my earlier video, this one's pretty much entirely invested into ETFs and long stock that I really have a strong conviction in. And we've also got my traditional IRA, which has about $30,000 in it. And if we're looking at the graph here, you can see there was a big jump. Now, that wasn't from any awesome trading on my part. That was literally just a 401k rollover, which brought it from $10,000 all the way up to $21,000. But if we go back over to the combined account overview, you can see that this account has done amazing over the past year. If we go back over to April 9th of 2020, we can see that my account was worth roughly $109,000, and that's all three combined. Like we said before, my total account now is $204,000, basically double what it was back in April of last year. Now, that has a lot to do with the fact that April 10th was after the 30% reduction in my account value due to that huge sell-off back in March, April timeframe of last year. So a lot of that just has to do with timing. I'm not really up 100%. If we went back another month or two, you'd see that this account was really worth like $140,000. But because I had so many short options in my individual account, I got assigned on so many different positions. Now, luckily, almost all of them have come back in entirety, except for Royal Caribbean, which still hold me back a little bit, and American Airlines. But if we look at the graph here, you can see how quickly my account has grown back up. We can see all the way back in, let's see, November 24th of 2020. That's only like 4 months ago. You can see it was $150,000. So in just 4 or 5 months, my account has increased by $50,000. It's pretty amazing. Now, I will say a lot of that had to do with some contributions, but a big chunk of it was actually short premium. I've just been consistently selling options against my account for the past year, which has been amazing. Now, for those of you just getting into options selling, that's not always going to be the case. It's just we've had basically just a straight bull run for the past year, which has been amazing for short put selling. But I know sometime in the future I will get assigned again, things will go against me, and this account will probably see a big sell-off at some point. Which is why a lot of the time I'm not just looking for high volatility stocks to sell put options against. I'm really looking for companies that I actually wouldn't mind holding for the long run. Companies that if there was a 50% sell-off or more, I wouldn't be too worried about it. If anything, I'd probably be trying to figure out ways to double down and invest more money into the markets if I could. Now, most option sellers are going to look for high implied volatility companies to sell options against. Now, that's just due to the fact that you will get more premium for selling against volatile companies. Now, I'm just not willing to get assigned on some garbage company that I don't know anything about just to get a little bit more money up front. So, like I said, I'm pretty happy with my success so far in the account, but let's go ahead and jump into my options. So far for the month, you can see I closed out of a Chewy $73 put and $75 put for a total profit of $158.89. I also closed out of a Disney 172.5 put for a profit of $105.94. On the screen, you can also see I closed out of the Tesla 560 put for $858.93. Now, you see later in the video, I actually rolled that option out to the same date, but to a different strike price. I rolled it up to the $600 put, and I pulled in another $600-ish in credit. So hopefully that'll work out, and I'll pull in another $1,200 from Tesla by the end of the month. But next up, we've got VST. I sold the $16 put, which I closed out for $73.35 because I sold 3 of them. I also closed out of one of the XLE $46 puts for a total profit of $68.94. Now, adding that all up together, that comes to a total of $1,266.04 so far in the month of April. Now, pulling up my current account and going to the account statement page, we can see that I sold 2 Vizio puts, the $22.50 strike, for $1.40 each. Also, last month, I rolled out my 2 CCIV puts out to the $23 strike and the 16th of April, and I pulled in $1.35 each for those. I also sold 3 more Palantir puts, one on the $22 strike and 2 on the $23 strike. I pulled in 96 cents for one of them and $1.06 for the other 2. Now, on here, you can also see that I sold a Discovery $40 put, and I pulled in 95 cents for that one. Also, the Disney 177.5 put for $1.47. I also really like Rocket Mortgage, so I did sell 2 puts against those. I sold one against the $21 strike for 89 cents and the $22 strike for $1.35. And like I said early in the video, I did roll out my Tesla put from, I think it was 560 all the way up to 600. We can see on the screen here. And if that one expires worthless, I'll pull in another $1,265 from that one. I also sold 2 AMD puts for the $73 strike, and I pulled in $1 each for those. Next up, we've got Chewy. You can see I sold the $75 put, and I pulled in $1.05 for that one. And then 3M, which I think I'll make a video on 3M specifically in the future. They're just an awesome company overall. But we can see there on 3M that I did sell the 180 put, and I pulled in about $1.45 for it. Now you can just tell based on that notional value, because that's an $18,000 notional value basically, and I only pulled in $1.45. Now that's because 3M is not a very volatile company. And I do typically look at volatility before I put on an option, but I really like this one, so I wouldn't actually mind owning it at 180. So I said, what the heck, and sold a 180 put against it. And I kind of feel the same way about Disney. That's why you can see I've got another 175 put against Disney that I pulled in $1.21 for. And next up, you can see that I did sell a covered call on the $95 strike for Royal Caribbean, and I pulled in $330 for that one. Now, RCL was actually a naked put that I sold almost a year ago now, back before the pandemic, and I got assigned at $100 a share. And I rode Royal Caribbean all the way down to $30 a share, and luckily it's come back and I've started selling covered calls against it again. But I wouldn't mind selling those shares at 95 if they do get a call away from me. I also sold 2 puts against Viacom, one at the $38 strike, one at the $39 strike, and I pulled $1.05 for one of them and 96 cents for the other. Now, if we were to add all those up for the month of April, it would come out to a total of $3,691 left on the table for the month. If I end up closing out all of these options at 100% profit, which is definitely not going to happen since I typically close out about 85% profit, this would result in a total income of $4,957.04 for the month of April. Now, we do have a few more weeks left in the month, so this number will likely be different, but be sure to subscribe to the channel to follow my progress all along the way. I'll also be putting up some videos out shortly going over my strategy and going over the way I do what I do. Now, looking down the list, you probably saw there are a few other options in my list there. Those includes the puts on Corsair, Airy, Discovery, and VST. Now, the reason I didn't include it in the previous section is because they all expire May 21st if you see them there. But that adds about another $1,071 if you were to add up all those puts that I sold against it. And depending on how much decay, I may close them out, but really I'm not planning on closing them out this month, so we'll just have to see what happens. This was a quick one, but I hope some of you out there find these videos helpful in some way. I've personally found them helpful just to keep better track of my own progress, so I'll definitely continue putting out both the portfolio updates as well as the end of month income reports, just so you guys can follow along with me. As always, if there's anything specific you guys would like me to cover, please leave it down below in the comments. And if you liked this video or found it helpful in some way, please go ahead and hit that like button. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to follow along with my portfolio and maybe learn a thing or two about trading options. But we'll go ahead and end it there, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one.